Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Vibe Vault. And I am wearing the appropriate t-shirt today. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see that I'm wearing the t-shirt of my favorite band, Duran Duran. Duran Duran was founded in 1978 by Nigel Taylor and Nick Bates, better known as John Taylor and Nick Rhodes. They had a different singer back then by the name of Stephen Duffy. Simon Le Bon didn't join the band until 1980, when he was recommended by an ex-girlfriend who was working at this place called the Rum Runner, where the band would do their rehearsals. There have been, and are now, other members of the band who have come and gone. But the most iconic lineup is, of course, Simon Le Bon, John Taylor, Nick Rhodes, Andy Taylor, and Roger Taylor. And, by the way, the Taylors, none are related whatsoever. So the band's first hits were Planet Earth and Girls on Film. And I really wish that I could play these songs for you right now, but I'm worried about copyright issues, so I'm not going to. And that really stinks because it would be kind of nice to have, some of their songs playing in the background. But I don't have permissions. Not that I've tried to ask for permissions, but I don't know how the whole copyright thing works. I don't know how other YouTubers and podcast people can get away with it, using other people's songs all the time. So I'm just not going to try. So if you're here thinking that you're going to hear any Duran Duran songs, I apologize. I am not going to be playing any of their songs, but I'm just going to be talking about the band, their songs, their albums, things like that. All right, so their first hits were Planet Earth and Girls on Film, and other hits include, Ordinary World, which is my favorite song. Wild Boys actually was my favorite song for a long time. I loved that song. I loved the video, but once I heard Ordinary World, I don't know. Actually, I've heard it before, but it just became my favorite a few years ago. I don't know what it is about it. I just love that song. But of course, you've got the Reflex, Rio, which has become like everybody's favorite song. You've got Save a Prayer, which is another popular one. A View to a Kill, which is the coolest James Bond theme song ever. So let's talk about the albums. And I have a list of albums, so here we go. The first album came out in 1981, called Duran Duran, and includes the songs Planet Earth and Girls on Film. Rio, which came out in 1982, includes, of course, Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf, and Save a Prayer. Seven in the Ragged Tiger came out in 1983 and includes the hits like New Moon on Monday, The Reflex, and Union of the Snake. Notorious came out in 1986, and that includes, of course, the title song, Notorious. Big Thing came out in 1988. Liberty was 1990. The Wedding Album came out in 1993. And that includes my favorite, Ordinary Worlds, Come Undone, which is another one, and Too Much Information. Thank You came out in 1995, and that includes the remake of White Lines. Bedazzleland came out in 1997, and then you have Pop Trash in 2000, Astronaut in 2004, Red Carpet Massacre in 2007, All You Need Is Now in 2010, Paper Gods in 2015, Future Past in 2021. And then, now listen, before I move on to the title of the next album, which if you are a huge Duran Duran fan, you will know which one I'm going to talk about. Now, I just kind of want to backtrack a little bit. So back in the early 90s, I did love Duran Duran. I loved all their songs, their videos. I got so excited when they came on, but I was never really a hardcore fan at that time. Now mind you, again, I've always been a fan, but never a hardcore fan until the year 2023, when the album Danse Macabre came out. Now, Danza Macabre is the ultimate Halloween album. It is so cool. They have done a new version of New Moon on Monday and Love Voodoo. And oh my goodness, I love the original songs, but those came out really well. They're really awesome. They've done and they have done a deluxe album as well. And they cover songs such as Evil Woman and Psycho Killer. Oh my goodness, so cool. All right. Yeah. So I fell in love with Duran Duran with the debut of this album. As soon as I heard this album, and my husband Chris actually introduced me to it. We were listening to music in the car one day like we normally do. And he's like, oh, Duran Duran's got a new album. I'm like, oh, cool, let's hear it. He's like, I think you're going to really like it. Because I am a big fan of Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. It has been since I can ever remember. And I love horror movies, theme songs of Halloween, things like that. And when I found out that Duran Duran did a whole album, like Halloween style, I was like, are you kidding me right now? They are totally catching my vibe. Ha, get it, vibe. So anyway, yes, good job, Duran Duran. Oh my goodness, I love it. And not only that, but they've done Halloween concerts. Now, this past year they did a Halloween concert at Madison Square Garden, and I really, really, really wish I could have gone. But so the thing is, they weren't really selling tickets. They were picking people to go to the show. Well, I think you could order regular tickets, but mainly it was if you gave towards their hunger cause. I believe the program was called Why Hunger. And although I love giving to these charities and everything like that, I think it's for a really good cause. I didn't think that I would give enough to be able to be qualified to enter, to win, to go to the show. Right? I mean, I'm not saying that they requested that people pay thousands of dollars to this cause. They weren't looking for that. But how bad would I feel if I went to this show and I got like front row seats, got to meet the band, whatever, got this whole, VIP, I don't know, whatever, and I only gave $20 to the cause. I would feel horrible. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't participate in that. I didn't go to that show and anything. But I did go to a show on November 2nd, which was pretty much right after Halloween, a couple of days right after Halloween. They played right down the road from me. And literally, I was like 10 minutes away, if that. So I went to the show and didn't really get the best seats in the house. I was kind of off towards the side. I made sure that we were going to be on John Taylor's side. And we were kind of way up in, I would say, nosebleed seats, although this arena isn't that big. So it wasn't that bad. And I will go ahead and post some of my pictures that I took at the concert. If you're watching this on YouTube, if not, maybe go on YouTube and you can see my pictures that I took. I did take a couple of videos, but I'm not going to play those because, again, I'm not sure about the copyrights and permissions and things like that. And I don't want my video to get flagged, and I don't want it to get deleted, because that would just be horrible. So anyway, Danza Macabre, oh my goodness. And one of my favorite songs on that is Black Moonlight. I love, love, love that. I mean, I love all the songs, but Black Moonlight really gets me going. It is just so cool. I mean, I can't even begin to describe how cool it is. If you haven't heard it, they have the deluxe album out now, which I got to download the album for free for going to the concert. So I did get that. The whole entire album is mine to keep forever, even if I get rid of my Apple Play, things like that. Yeah, it is so cool. You have to hear it. It is really awesome. Okay, so, and of course, with the albums, they have done some remastered albums and deluxe and special editions. And I didn't go through all of them here because they're pretty much like the same albums, just like, on steroids, stuff. So anyway, So with Duran Duran, they have also done some side projects, right? So think about John and Andy. They formed a band called The Power Station, and who headed The Power Station as lead singer? But Robert Palmer. So think of songs like Some Like It Hot and Bang a Gong. Really, really, really cool songs. But that project didn't last really long. And in the meantime, Simon, Nick, and Roger formed Arcadia. And they had hits such as Election Day, which was a really huge hit. So if you ever heard of the group Arcadia, that's our boys, Duran Duran. Well, part of them anyway. And then after about 18 years, Duran Duran came back together in the early 2000s. But Andy left the band in 2006 to pursue a solo career. And then he was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2018. So he has collaborated with them on the new albums, but he hasn't really been touring with them or anything. So the members of the band today consist of Simon, John, Nick, and Roger. And they have also added guitarist Don Brown to the mix in 2004. And he is super cool. Anna Ross, an amazing vocalist. She's also a talent coach or a vocalist coach or something like that. She joined them as a backup singer in 2005. And she also performs the duet with Simon, Come Undone. Yep, she belts out the one that did the girl part, the female part. Really, really cool. And they have a really cool saxophonist named Simon Wilscroft, who came on board in 2007. So yes, I will be going to see Duran Duran again. And I recently got John Taylor's book for Christmas. I had asked for it. It was one of my Secret Santa asks that I did, get it. And it's called In the Pleasure Groove, written by John Taylor. Really good read. So it tells you about the history of Duran Duran, kind of like a little bit what I mentioned here today, and some pictures, and it talks about like their relationships and issues they've had, issues they've overcome, and all that kind of stuff. So I do recommend getting that book. If you're a fan, it is a really good read. All right, so this segment that I'm going to introduce, and if you've been following along with this podcast, whether on your favorite podcast platform, or YouTube, you will know that I have been introducing segments for each episode, because what's going to happen is once I introduce all the segments, they're going to be kind of interlaced with each episode at random. So this one that I'm introducing today is called My Recommendations, where I'm going to recommend a product that I love, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. So here we go. My recommendations. So today's recommendation is actually a shelf liner. And I got this from Amazon. I'm not exactly sure who the company is that made it, but I will get that information and I will put it here if you watch it on YouTube. I'll also click the link of where I got this from on my show notes and on the description of the YouTube channel of the video. But anyway, I put these in my drawers and cabinets, and they're really pretty. First of all, I love hearts and I love green, so this was perfect for me. I'm going a little bit of retro in my kitchen, so I kind of wanted something a little retro. And if you have boring, wood cabinets like I do, these really brighten them up. And not to mention, they're non-adhesive, so they're not going to like rip apart when you try to take them out. They're not going to leave any of that nasty residue or anything like that. They don't really slide, so if you put something on them, you could take stuff off, and they're really good. They don't like buckle or slide or anything like that. And they're very easy to clean. It's like cushiony and soft, very easy to clean. So if you get something spilled on it or anything like that, just wipe it off with a wet cloth and you're good to go. This comes with a lot. This is actually my second roll that I got. I already lined my cabinets and drawers, but I had to get a little bit extra because there was some cabinets that I didn't put it in, and I just needed a few more pieces. But this actually has a lot in it. So it is amazing. It's very easy to cut, measure and cut, slip it into your drawer or into your cabinets, and it's beautiful. All right. All right, so thank you everyone for joining me on this episode of the Vibe Vault. My name is Dawn, and I just want to let you know that I do have a Facebook group. So please come and join that. The link will be in the show notes and the description of the YouTube video. And I also have a TikTok, which I literally just started. So I think I have one little thing on there so far, as well as Instagram. So all my links are going to be in the show notes of the podcast platform and in the YouTube description. And I just want to ask, please make sure that you give me a 5-star rating and a review, because it really, really helps with the algorithm of the show. It helps you to get notified when new episodes come out, which you also want to make sure you get those notifications as well. And it also helps others find this channel, others who are looking for the same thing that you are. All right, so please help me out on that. That would be a huge help to me. Like, share, comment. I want to hear those comments. I want you to email me anything that you want to tell me in the about the segments. Tell me something that has happened to you that was kind of stupid, that shouldn't have happened. That's one of my segments for the episodes. And, tell me about any of your recommendations. I will take those. Tell me what you want me to talk about. If there's like a certain topic in pop culture, world news, anything like that. Nothing political, nothing religious, just ordinary, everyday things that you want me to discuss. Send me an email, message me on Facebook, things like that. And I will do the best I can to answer, ask me any questions. I want to start going live, but I need more followers. So get your friends in, all right? Invite your friends to my group, the podcast, the YouTube, everything. All right, everyone. Till next time. Peace out.